Okay, so this is like a very good class. I thought we were going to have vacation till after Rosh Chodesh, at least till next week. But as I was falling asleep, my wife said, the Rebbe said, "Oh, and you're going to teach today." So, but I'm happy to do it. And how are you on Trumos Maasrot? Everybody know how to do it? Nadia, you know how to do Trumos Maasrot?
No, the Rebbe can teach me, but I don't
okay.
Okay. Sephora is really good at it.
Sephora is good at it. Okay. All right. So we did learn about it right after Tu B'Shvat, if you recall. I'm going to give a little review about it. Okay. We're going to I'm not going to concentrate so much on the background, but more on like the practical aspects. Now, to the right of this paper, you'll see we have in Hebrew the steps that we go through. Call it like a formula or like the nusach. This is like the steps that we go through. And in these steps, as you can see, it's approximately 10 steps. We're going to do 5 mitzvot. Okay? So here, pass these out. These are the translation in English. If you don't read Hebrew, so now you have it in English.
Thank you so much.
And also, we're going to pass out. Bina was nice enough to, as this program is called, From Farm to Table. So this is from the land we just picked. And I didn't know you could eat these. I don't think the Rebbitzin even serves that.
Wow.
This everyone should take.
So they are what? Peppery, they very nice.
This is
Paprika?
this is called nasturtium.
Nasturtium.
I don't know what it's called
The
in
flowers are the same?
Yeah.
Just part of it?
Flowers you also eat?
You can
Okay.
also eat the flowers?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
I'm telling you, I'm not so familiar with it.
Yeah?
Yes.
And we all fall over, it's her fault.
Yes. No. Flowers not so peppery.
I'm gonna make
First, it would be good to take a good look at it, make sure there's no bugs on it.
Okay.
Even like small, even like very small, like could be like a size of, oh come in, hi. Could be the size of a little thread, 1 millimeter thread. Sometimes you see them moving. My leaf looks pretty clean.
Not
Okay.
extra protein? I didn't take damaged or ugly cheese, I just tried to take
Okay.
this one.
Okay,
maybe
so
I've got yellow.
so assuming that it's clean, and now, what if we were outside? Let's say we wanted
Eggs.
to eat one. Eggs, okay. Eggs, you have to not allowed to eat that either. Just brush them off.
Yeah, I'll just cut
So what if we wanted, just like we were walking in the field, say we found one like this, we'd be able to eat it without taking Trumos Maasrot. So first of all, like anything here that's growing, like anything that's not planted, that grows wild. Really, if it's something like nobody owns it, nobody guards it. It's like anybody who wants it could pick it. So then, really, we don't have to take Trumos Maasrot on it. Are these things that we plant, or are these things that grow wild?
Planted them.
Okay, so then we have to take Trumos Maasrot on it.
If it's wild, we don't.
If it's wild, you don't. It's like anybody, like we're going to be giving certain gifts, right, to the Kohanim, to the Leviim, right, to different people. And they can just take it themselves, just like I could take it, they could take it. It doesn't belong to anybody. Just, foraging in the swamp or wherever you want to pick stuff. You don't have to, it's not it's not something that it's yours, you're growing it. Somebody's like walking around, they say, "What are you doing here? It's mine." Yes, what's your question?
What if somebody else planted it? Or what if we're not sure?
Sure.
Like, what if we're not sure if somebody planted
Well,
something?
you could usually
Or
see,
somebody else that wasn't
has a
you.
fence around it, keep out, and you know that somebody else's. But usually, you know that there are certain places that are public places, like, for example, in the Bat Ayin, next to the Beit Knesset, there's a big tree of figs, it's like public. There's a lot of public area places. Somebody planted it, but it's not like privately owned or guarded. It's not like somebody's like keeping that for himself. So then it's anybody that wants could take it.
But you're saying, what if you're in a situation where you don't know?
If you don't know, so then best not to take it because you might be stealing if it does belong to somebody. Ask the neighbors. So that's one thing. So now, and the things here that grow in Beirut. So, since the Rebbitzin and I, we were granted great blessing of being given permission to control this property, so it kind of belongs to us. So we do have to take Trumas Meiser from it. And you mentioned different kinds of things that we have growing here, like nettles, right?
Mm.
And nettles are things that you eat them.
She said you make tea.
You make tea. Okay.
You can put them in soup too.
So tea is something that we should take Trumas Meiser from tea herbs, but we don't say a bracha on that. It's sort of like a rabbinical. We're doing l'chumra, just to be on the safe side. Since we're not really eating the thing itself, we're just taking the taste to make the tea. So it's not really that. We don't really, from the Torah, have to take Trumas Meiser, but we do it anyway, but we don't say a bracha. Now what about something like this? So another thing that would be maybe in a similar kind of thing would be herbs that are for spicing, like seasonings. So you just use a few, rosemary, or something like that, in your cooking something.
That you do need to do?
I would say also with that, you should do it without a bracha. Here it's more so because you're actually eating the actual leaves. But it's still not the, it's just to give a flavoring. It's not that really you're interested in eating that for itself. Right. Here, by the nasturtium, I haven't really tried what it tastes like yet. Is it would you say it's a seasoning, or it's no, you want to eat it. It's gives you some nourishment.
Salad.
It's a salad green, it's nourishment. So here for sure we're going to even say a bracha.
I can't even know. I don't remember what the nutrients are.
But it's something that people want to eat, a quantity of it to get a certain satiation. So that's the kind of thing that we need to take Trumas Meiser. Now let's say you're walking outside and say, "Oh, that looks good. Let me take a leaf." Are you allowed to eat it without taking Trumas Meiser? So really, you could, if you just take one at a time. See, this whole area that we have here, it's called a chatzer, like a courtyard. Anything that, and in order to be obligated in taking Trumas Meiser, has to have certain conditions. Number one is, has to be ready to eat. It's not like now I'm going to make wine, and I pick grapes. They're not really ready to drink yet. I'm in the process of making wine. It's not ready yet. So there I could say, well, I feel like eating a grape. You could eat a grape because I'm not finished working on it yet. I'm picking olives to make oil, olive oil. I could maybe eat an olive, not so good if you don't pickle it, salt it or whatever. But you could eat it because it's not yet finished the process. Now, one of the main things that we have in the process of any kind of food is to pick a quantity that we're going to store away. Really, the house is the verse that one of the verses that the Torah says is that I have finished taking the Trumas Meiser from all the produce in the house. So we learn from that. Once you bring it into your house, now you're obligated to take Trumas Meiser, provided that you finished, it's in the stage now where you're going to be consuming it. So here by these salad greens, so As soon as we pick it, basically it's ready to eat. Don't have to, I don't think you have to, not talk about cooking it. Cooking is not in the stage, but it's ready to eat at this stage. But if it's outside, so then you don't have to chumas and meiser from it. But if you start to gather together, let's say, I have like a container this full, I'm going to pick as much to fill this container. Until you fill the container, you don't have to take chumas and meiser from it. You could eat it like that. But if you're just going to be taking enough to eat, so then as soon as you take 1, 2 of them, that's called gathering them together. That's like, now you cannot eat them without taking chumas and meiser. So what if you don't want to do all that? As we'll see, it's like, takes a little, sort of like it's a whole procedure. So if you take one at a time, then you could pick one, eat it, without taking chumas and meiser. Say a bracha, and that way you could eat it without doing chumas and meiser. You could pick 1 fig, you could pick 1 apple. And what about a pomegranate? So there it seems like you have to like open it on the tree and then take like 1 at a time, because each one is considered individual.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
What if
once,
you just pick it and open it in your hand?
because then you have a lot. It's like now you picked like, how many are there in there? 613. Some say there's like as many mitzvot. 613. So now you've picked 613. You have to take chumas and meiser even
You're
to
in the
eat one.
field, though.
Doesn't matter. Once even you're in like the courtyard. You're in the courtyard. You can only pick 1 at a time, without being obligated to take chuma and meiser. So as soon as you take more than 1, now you've like started to gather together. Now you have to take
So it's the
chumas
same
and
with
meiser.
grapes, you would have to pick
Grapes 1 at a time, right? If you pick a whole cluster, now you have to take chuma and meiser.
No, I don't like that though. It doesn't make sense because it's 1 fruit. Okay, fine, there's little things inside of it, but like
Each
no
one is considered to
considers
be
each seed
individual.
a different
Each one is considered to be individual, though,
Why?
maybe some people,
Why is it considered each an individual?
why each one is,
Pomegranate.
because that, I don't
It's the
know.
whole thing. That's weird.
How do you define it?
Yeah, you plant them,
Yeah, this
plant
is
them.
something which is fairly
Each
like,
seed at a time? I don't know.
something that the rabbi sort of defined, I think by orange or nectarine, there's like some discussion about it. Is each little section considered to be
That's what I'm saying.
one
It's the
fruit,
fruits
like
making
one
it fall.
thing? And there I think, you would find different opinions, but and maybe also by the pomegranate. But by the grapes, I'm sure that that's uniformly agreed that each grape is like an individual fruit.
So who says this about the pomegranate?
I didn't look it up so much, but I could see if there's different opinions about it. In any case, like a person that is God fearing, he should be strict, not to eat it without taking the chumas and meiser. Cherries, I love that to go out on my property and pick a cherry, but only 1 at a time. If you pick more than 1 at a time, then you have to take chumas and meiser. So everybody has a leaf?
Mm.
Okay, and I'm going to
And a flower.
do it together with you. And that way we'll be able to eat all of these and each what we have in our hand and all of them. So if you look on this paper, you can see different people and pile of fruits, right? That the person in green, that's us. Okay, that's the farmer, Mr. Green. He's the farmer. You could see here. You could see really how many pictures do we have of him? We have 4 pictures of him, right? And we have another picture also. In this picture over here, we have the Kohen and the Levi, right? And the Levi is given to the Kohen. So now we know who the people are. So now let's start back over here. We're going to go through what the 5 mitzvahs are very quickly. The 5 different times of tithes, right? So here we have Mr. Green is giving to the Kohen, right? You can see he's the Kohen because I guess he looks a little bit like the Kohen Gadol, really, because he's got all these fancy big. Yeah, he's the Kohen Gadol. You can see he's wearing like the 8 different garments. So that's the first thing we have to do, and that's called truma. Truma, which from the word larim, ramah, to raise up, to elevate it. Really, we're giving all these things to Hashem, right? But Hashem says, I'm not so hungry today, don't really eat so much. I want you to give it to my designated representatives, to the Kohen, to the Levi, right? They're going to receive it from me. And anyway, these people do not have a designated land for their tribe, right? The Levium and the Kohanim, they didn't get a land like Yehuda got, like we're in the tribe of Yehuda here, right? They're supposed to be supported by the rest of the Jewish nation, right? So they depend upon us to give them enough for we give it to them, and that's what they eat. What's the next one here? We're giving to somebody else. This is to the Levi, right? So that's called Ma'aser Rishon, right? Ma'aser from the word that has in it May Eser, right? From 10. From 10 parts, we give 1/10. Okay, so that's Ma'aser. We give to the Levi. Now, in this picture that I showed you where the Levi, he also has to give Truma. He also has to give something to the Kohen, right? He got a 10th. He has to give a 10th of what he gets to the Kohen, and that is called Trumat Ma'aser. From the Ma'aser that the Levi gets, he gives Truma, 1/10 of that, to the Kohen. Okay? So that's 3 mitzvot so far. We have, what are they again? What's this first one called? Truma. What's the second one called? Ma'aser. Which one? That's Rishon. That's the first one. First Ma'aser. What's the next one? That's Trumat Ma'aser, where the Levi takes from what he got from the Israel, and he gives his portion to the Kohen. Now here, at the last box here, you see we have, last one over here, we have 2 scenarios, right? And that's because, and these are 2 mitzvot that are sort of mutually exclusive. For each produce, you're only going to do 1, right? So the first one you see here is Mr. Green. He himself is eating it. And where is he? Meiser Sheni.
In his field.
He's in Jerusalem, right? See, that's the Beit HaMikdash behind him, right? This picture here. Did you get one? Do we have extra one for Rachel?
No, you keep it.
Not enough copies
We
for
do have
everybody?
extra, actually, we do.
Good. So there you see he's eating it. Meiser Sheni, right? We did Meiser Rishon, that went to the Levi. Meiser Sheni, that is for ourselves, right? Whatever we pick, we take 1/10 of it, and we bring it to Jerusalem, and we eat it there. But we can only eat it there when we're tahor, which means we have no defilement. Like in this week's parsha, we're reading about all the different kinds of defilement, whether does it say about touching a dead body? I'm not sure if that one's listed in this week's parsha, but it does talk about touching different kinds of dead animals, right? That can make a person tamei, defiled, cannot eat that Meiser Sheni.
Is a tortoise like if I touch my tortoise, is it like
A tortoise, only if he's dead. I hope he'll live many years. Tortoise could live hundreds of years, right? A big one.
Wow.
Anyway,
He's 6 months old already.
okay, so yeah. A tortoise is itzav, and it is one of the Shmona Shratzim that's singled out as one of the animals that become tamei. But it's only when they're dead, so you're in good shape. In any case, a person touched that, so they have to go to the mikvah, and then they could eat it. But a woman that's a nida, like it says in this week's parsha, right? Or zava, which is another kind of nida, and the man also has different kinds of tuma, right? Like it sounds like gonorrhea. That's one of the kinds of things that describes. If you really look at the, we have two parshas this week in the parsha of Mitzorah. In the end, the sixth Aliyah, there it talks about different tuma that can affect a man. In any case, so when we don't have tuma, we go to the mikveh, but also we have to be concerned about the tuma of touching a dead body, or being in touching somebody else that touched the dead body, or being in yesterday I went to the cemetery. It was a yahrzeit of a good friend of mine, that you need to get special kind of, what's the Torah for that? What can remove the defilement of death?
You need to wash in a certain way, right?
Not only that.
Mikveh.
But one of
Not
the
only a mikveh, no.
From the priest, from the high priest? Used to be.
No, he can't help you with that.
I know, right now we can't.
How do we get,
Yeah.
Nadja, maybe you know, how do we get tahara from the tumat mate, of death?
Tell us. I didn't hear the question.
We can't really even do it yet. We don't have it today.
Yeah.
We're waiting
Oh, we
for
bring a korban.
korban, special kind of korban. It has to be a special kind of a cow.
Paradum.
Right.
or a red one.
A red, well, really, you don't see so many red ones, but they're really, what it really means is brown. A totally brown cow.
Yeah,
That
it's
we
funny.
don't, that we're always like looking for them. It has to be 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
All of them up till now, and by the time they're 2 years old, they got a few like little black or white hairs, so they're disqualified.
That's it.
You know, the ones, I'm going to throw this out
And you also have to guard them that they don't carry anything and do any work at all. What did you say?
There was like, I forget how many, but I think there was around 10 a couple years ago from the Texas area.
Texas,
There's-
right? The Texans are
they
keeping their
have-
eye out for us.
And they did, but also they I don't know Cohen, but nevertheless the Hebrew those that keep track of that. They actually came over, checked them out, and
checked
moved it.
them.
Came and brought them back over
Yeah.
for the future of the third temple.
To maybe still
And
like
they're already-
mate them and breed
they're
them.
in
To
Shiloh,
breed
I
them.
believe.
You have to breed them. in
There's
Shiloh.
some that are still.
Good. Okay. Well, we need that. We need
That was
that.
free information.
We need that.
I thought it was kind of interesting.
Because
being
soon,
in that area.
Midreshet Hashem, we're going to, we know that in Nisan we're going to be redeemed, so it could happen today, maybe even tomorrow. It's the 30th of Nisan. And we go to the Beit HaMikdash, so we have to first get purified with the ashes of the paraduma. And if you want to eat the Meiser Sheni, we also have to get that. And also the Kohen, if he's going to eat the Truma, he also has to get purified. So we need that. What is the other picture that we have here? We have who's here? We have the Mr. Green again, and here he's giving it to the poor person, to the ani, to the misfortunate person that doesn't have his own land, or maybe he got a pest or drought. He didn't grow any food, so he doesn't have what to eat. So we also have to worry about him. However, as you can see here, take a look at that. The red and blue boxes here. You see that?
Yeah.
On that picture there. All of the pictures have red and blue boxes, but here it's like most interesting because we see that there's 7 boxes here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7th box is white. That's Shemitah. Okay? The 7th box. So that's the 7 years of Shemitah. In the year of Shemitah, we don't do any Trumas or Meiser because it's just like something which is ownerless. Anybody could come and take it. The Cohen could take it. The Levi could take it. Anybody who wants, even to us, even our own field, right? Anybody could come and take it. It doesn't belong to us. So we're not going to do it in the 7th year, but here you could see by these 2 mitzvot, in the 1st and 2nd is red, right? What is red? That means for the Meiser Ani, that we have to give a tenth to the poor person. The 3rd box, no, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. 1st and 2nd year, we're going to take that Meiser Sheni, that's for ourselves. Only the 3rd year, that's going to be Meiser Ani. Anything that grows in the 3rd year, that we're going to give to the poor person.
Wait, so,
Yeah?
so let's say in Israel, it's Shemitah year, and I go to like my friend's farm, and I just take a lot of stuff. I don't need to do truma on it.
Right.
On that year, because it's
Even if I take
Right.
it to my house, even if I gather.
Right. You don't.
So-
It's available for anybody that wants, but you're only really supposed to, take enough what you can eat, not like so much that you're going to be selling it. Even the person that owns it, he's also allowed to take, but not so much, not in the usual way that he picks everything. So that's what,
That's the year
so-
of rest for the land, right?
right. So we have the 7-year Shemitah cycle. As you can see, the red boxes, 1st and 2nd year we're going to be doing Meiser Sheni. 3rd year is for the poor person, Meiser Ani. 4th and 5th year is again Meiser Sheni. What year is this? We're in the 4th year, right? So our 4th year, we're going to be doing the Meiser Sheni. And then in the 6th year, every 3 years, the Torah says, every 3 years, you do the Meiser for the poor person. So now we're in the 4th year. So that's the 5 mitzvot that we're going to be doing. Okay. All right, so now let's take a look at how we're going to be doing it. That's over here on this side, you can see. No, on this side here. You can see the different steps that we're going to go through in our actual doing these mitzvot, okay? So what do we see like on this? We see a picture of apples, right? You see that? Picture of apples, right? So that is our like box here with our leaf of nasturtium. Okay, that's our produce. The produce that we want to rectify, we're not allowed to eat that without rectifying it. It's called tevel. Tevel is like a mixture of of forbidden and allowed. Right. What we have to do is separate the truma u'maisrot. It's called hafreshot truma u'maisrot. Separate what we're not allowed to eat, and what's left over is what we want. That's what we can eat. That becomes called chulin. Take off the kedusha, the holy things. What's left is yet for everyday use. That's the chulin. That's what we want. That's what we could eat. So that's the different steps that's going through till we finally come to the bottom with what we want to eat. And you can see there's a portion that's being thrown in the trash, right? The portion that we're disposing of is the portion that, anybody want to guess what that portion is that we're going to dispose of? Not the part that somebody cooked that didn't like what it ate. This is like what we're not allowed to eat it. That's what part do you think that would be? What of all these mitzvot do you think we're not allowed to eat?
I don't think I understand the question.
So at the bottom, I'm just showing, like we have at the bottom here is what we want to get to. We have, you can see like now they became like dark green. Started at the top, light green.
Mm-hmm.
That means you can't eat it. At the bottom, they became dark green. Now you can eat it, except for the little part that gets thrown away.
Mm-hmm.
And really it gets double wrapped and disposed of. That's going to be really 2 parts that we're not allowed to eat. The 2 parts that go to Mr. Cohen, right? Whether it was what Mr. Green gave to the Cohen, that's truma. The Cohen can't eat it yet because we don't have the paraduma. So he's not tahor. So we're not going to give him, we're not even going to give it to him because he might be tempted to eat it. We don't want to give him something he can't eat, right? You don't give somebody like something that's forbidden for him. We don't want to give it to him. We're going to double wrap it and dispose of that part. And also this part that he got from the Levi, that part also he's not allowed to eat yet because we don't have the paraduma. So that's what you see in this picture. Is at the top it's light green. We're going to go through our different steps. At the bottom we're going to get to the rectified produce, which is dark green, and the part that we can't eat because nobody could eat because we don't have tahara yet is going to be double wrapped because we don't want to throw it directly into the trash. That would be denigrating and insulting to the holiness of these portions that are designated for the Kohen. But if we double wrap it, then we could put it into the garbage. Okay, what about putting it into the compost? If you leave it out and wait till it starts to rot, then it's not edible, it's not food anymore, it's no good, then you could put it into the compost. Okay? So everybody has their leaf. Well, maybe we should just go through the steps first before we do the actual Chuma and Meiser. But any questions yet?
I don't have a leaf, I just have a flower. Is that okay?
Well, we eat the leaves, the flowers also?
Yes.
We do. Okay. So then we have to do it also on the flowers. Okay. Okay. Very interesting what this salad's going to taste like.
It's gonna be beautiful.
But you probably mix it with other things, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Not eat it by itself. But okay, I'm interested to see what this tastes like, but I'm not going to... I could taste it and spit it out. That would be allowed. But I'm not allowed to swallow it. Because we didn't take Chumos and Meiser yet. Okay, so now we're going to be the first... So now let's now look at the people that don't understand the Hebrew should take their paper like that, okay? We'll go through the different steps, and you could refer to the pictures here with each step. So the first step is to place to the side a fraction more than 1/100th part from each kind of produce you want to rectify. So we're already now going to divide really what we see in the last step, right? We have everything we've rectified, and the part that we're going to throw out at the end. We're already now anticipating all these steps and what we're going to get to at the end, and we're already going to, so we can do that now, like figure out now how big is this leaf? How are we going to know what's a little bit more than 1/100th? So you have to look at the whole thing. Imagine, here you can have nice lines in it. Imagine like one line dividing it in half, that's 50%. Okay, don't forget also include that you'd also, right, the stalk. Divided again into quarters as 25%. This is already divided for you with these lines. Another line is going to be 12.5%, right? So now you have like like 1/8 of the leaf, right? So now you look at that, and now we have to take approximately like 1/10 of that, right? A little bit less than 1/10. So again, divide it into half again, half again of that, and now we're like down to about 2.5%, half of that. Okay, so did I say to take? Notice what it says here. It doesn't say take 1/100th. What does it say? A little bit more than 1/100th, right? A little bit more. Okay, so take a little bit more than 1/100th, and that's probably very generous, but even less than that.
What about the piece that's got like the eggs on it?
Fine, yeah, you could take that. We're now. This might surprise you because this is for a mitzvah and it's like for holiness and for the Kohen. And if we knew that he was just had been sprinkled by the ashes and water of the paraduma, so we would give him the very best. The very best thing. But since in the end we're going to just dispose of it, we're not into wasting. We're going to just take the part which is not so nice, right? Could even be the stalk if you don't like that, the part which is yellow, the part which is dried up, the part that we don't want to eat. Fine, we don't want to waste it, but and you can take this like the even just the klipa, I guess, even like the rind of it.
That's a nice.
I guess it should be part of the food though, not just like the peel. So that we're going to now, we have our two things, set that aside. So what did I do up to now? Did I separate the chumus and meiser? No, I just cut the leaf and I just took my produce, put it into two parts. Okay? I have two parts. One is 99% and the other is 1%. And a little bit more, right? Now, if you look on this chart again, you'll see that there's a grid, right? What is that? Look in the first picture, the truma. What does that grid mean, right? Those boxes there. If you count those, you see there's 100 boxes, right? 100%. It's 100% of what we want to rectify, right? And what do? Look at that little box there. He took of that. He has at the top of the grid there. He has one box sticking up. He has 99 boxes below, one box above. Right? How did he do that? Because he put 9 on the bottom and 11 along the side and 1 on the top. Right? So therefore, he has one box on top, 99 below, and look what he's got. He's coloring in the top part of that box. You see that? What color is it?
Red.
Very good. So now look what we're going to say. We're going to take and what is that part that's red? That's not the 100. That's not the 1%. That's the little bit more than 1% that we're now going to talk about. Okay. And what are we going to call that part? We're going to call that truma. Right? And why are we taking such a small part? It's not even. It's less than 1%. It's a little bit more than 1%. Because from the Torah says, Reshit tevuotecha, the first part of your produce, that you have to give to the Kohen. The first part, how much is that? Don't know. It's not specifying a certain number. So we're not going to. In the end, we're going to just dispose of it. We're going to just take the smallest amount possible, kol shehu, the smallest amount, right? The smallest amount that we can imagine, that we could perceive. That's the part we're going to set aside for the Kohen. Mm-hmm. Okay? So let's look now in our order for separating Trumas and Maestro. Number 1, we did that. Place to the side a little bit more, fraction more than 100th part of each kind of the produce you want to rectify. Let's say we have like a good day and we have like some of apples and what else? Some oranges, some pomegranates. We have a lot of different kinds. So we have to take a part of each kind that we want to rectify, right? Each kind. Okay, so today we're just working on one kind. And do you think we have to take one from the flower, one from the leaf? No, because they're one kind. It's one kind, right?
Because it's the same species.
It's the same species, right? How do we know if it's one kind or different kinds, right? We have green grapes, we have black grapes. One kind of grape. That's one. It's all grapes, right? You have one kind of cucumber, another kind, right? It's all called cucumbers. It's all the same. It's called the same thing, and they taste similar. You only have to take one for all the different kinds. But each kind that's separate, you have to take it. Then we would say, number 2, the bracha, right? That you commanded us to separate trumot and meiserot, right? All these 5 different kinds, you commanded us to do it. So one bracha for all of them. Okay, now, so we're not going to do that yet. First, we're going to go through it like a dry run. Then we're going to do it with the bracha. Number 3, if you're rectifying more than one kind of produce, start by declaring what I'm about to say applies to each kind separately. Then continue. Okay, we only have one kind, so we can skip that. right? We're not going to say that, but if we do have more than one kind, we do say that. Number 4. Now we're getting to this first box over here, where we're going to now not exactly give it to the Kohen, but we're going to designate it for the Kohen. And that's what we mean when we say separate it. We mean that we're going to designate a part that's going to be for the Kohen. Okay, so now we're going to, and how do we designate it? We make a verbal declaration, right? This is what makes man special, that we have power of speech, that we can make something holy, right? And not doing a big mitzvah like that. Just like Hashem spoke and created the world, we can speak and we can now designate this to become now something that has holiness, something that has a special status. Okay, so what do we say? Look at number 4. Regarding the 100th plus a fraction amount of produce which has been set aside. Okay, let's pick that up. Okay, the little part that we broke off, right? Everybody has that little piece there. So regarding that, we're going to now look at it as not one but two different things. That one part that we broke off, imagine it as 2 parts. What are the 2 parts? Let's make a picture of it. We have here our leaf, right? And we're imagining it as 2 parts. Right? This is the 1%, the 100th part. And this up here is the little fraction more. Okay? So look at your little piece, imagine it's 2 parts. And now we're saying like this. Regarding the 100th plus a fraction amount of produce which has been set aside, consider the lower part, equivalent to 100th of the total amount, as remaining for the time being is unrectified, it's tevel. The part remaining on top, equivalent to a fraction of the total, is hereby declared truma gedola. Right, so here on the picture, regarding this part on the bottom, the 1%, I'm not talking about that. I'm leaving it alone. I'm not going to do anything for now. I'm now focusing on this part up here. And I'm declaring this part up here, which is just a fraction more than the 1%. I'm declaring this truma gedola. Okay, once you say that, you've already done the first mitzvah, to designate, which is in effect separating it off, making it now it has a special status. It's not like the rest of the produce. It's something unique. It's something different. Okay, so is that clear? The first mitzvah. Okay, so that's that. So, but why then did I divide it into 2 parts? Why have it bigger than I need? Okay, we'll get to that. For the time being,
The principle of it.
now we're going to go to that. Okay, now we're going to get to that later on. But first, we're going to now talk about the next mitzvah, number 5. What is number 5? That's over here. Who did we say that Mr. Green is giving it to this time?
The Levi?
To the Levi. And what is that called?
Rishon.
Meiser Rishon. Meiser Rishon. It's 1/10. So let's look at number 5. The lower part of that which has been set aside, that's this, right? Well, don't forget, now we have also the rest of the leaf here, right? Plus the lower part which has been set aside, which is equivalent to 100th of the total amount, plus another 900ths at the top of the produce which I desire to rectify. Right, so here we imagine now our leaf, right? We know that that's 99%, right? Take just 9%, right? 9% at the top. Here we go. Right? 9% at the top. Plus this part here. Right? How much is 9% plus 1%? 10%, right? So now we're going to be designating that to be the Meiser Rishon. That's for the Levi, right? why don't we give it all 10% from what's left here? Well, we'll see. But first, we're just imagining now 1% that I separate to the side, right? 1% I separate to the side. Another 9% that I didn't separate off yet. That's at the top of this leaf. Two together is 10%. We declare that Meiser Rishon. That's for the Levi. Okay? So now I have like my Meiser Rishon in two places, right? 9%, the 9 parts of the 9/10 of the 9/10 of the Meiser Rishon is here. 1/10 of it is over here, right? Is in the small part.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's see why I have it like that. And that we're going to understand when we read number 6. The lower part of the produce that has been set aside, equivalent to 1/100th of the total, is hereby declared Trumat Maaser. Right, so if you look in the picture here, this third picture, which is we see the Levi is giving to the Kohen, he's giving him 1/10. That's called Trumat Maaser. That is the little part that we have set aside here. That's that 1%, right? 1% of the total is 1/10 of the Meiser Rishon, right? It's 1/10 of 1/10, right? Because the Torah says that the Levi has to give 10% of what he got to the Kohen. So that's the part that we're going to give. We're giving it for the Levi. We're going to give that 10% of 10%, which is 1%. We're going to declare that to be Trumat Maaser. That goes to the Kohen also, right? So both of these things.
So one goes from
This is a Truma Gedola that came from Mr. Green to the Kohen. This 1%, that's the lower piece of the leaf that is separated off, the little piece. That is called the Trumat Maaser. That's both of these are going to go to the Kohen. Right? And both of these things, right, this is the part that came from the Yisrael, Mr. Green. This is the part that came from the Levi. That Kohen's going to get that also, right? So we took 10% of the Meiser Rishon, and that's called Trumas Maaser. That's also going to the Kohen. Okay, that's a little bit complicated. But the idea here is like that the part that's left here, the 90% of the Meiser Rishon that we did not give to the Kohen belongs to the Levi. Right? That's the 9% that's on top of the leaf. Here you go. The 9% that's at the top. That really belongs to the Levi, and he's going to get that part. Why don't we give him also the Trumat Maaser? Because since he can't eat it, we prefer to give him something that's already ready to eat. You don't have to do anything, right? Why should I give him something that, here's your Meiser Rishon, but don't eat it. First take the Truma Meiser. No, I already did that for you. Took care of it for you. You don't have to do it. You're all set to go. You can eat that the rest of that leaf. Yes. Question?
Because of the principle of it, I'm wondering if part of that is that he returns it he gives it back to the Kohen,
right?
Which is basically that circular thing, because we obey to feed basically the Levi, to feed him from what's coming from the field, and yet then the Levi he does the same thing, but back to the Kohen,
right?
Who is the one
right? So it's
the
going
hands to give.
Right, he's like the Levi here is just an intermediate between the Yisrael and the Kohen.
Right.
So instead of going from 1 to 2 to 3, we go from 1 to 3 directly. We give it to the Kohen directly.
Right.
Okay, so now that little piece, all of that is designated for the Kohen. Has together Truma Gedolah and Trumas Maaser. Both of those are for the Kohen, and that's the part in the end we have to double wrap and dispose of, because the Kohen is not doesn't have tahara, right? It's not purified. You can't eat it. So now, to be honest, when we get the paraduma, then we do want to give to the Kohen. The rabbis say, give him a little bit more than that. Give him something that he can feed his children with. So the rabbis established that you're supposed to give about 2%. Give about 2%. That's the average amount. That's the amount you're supposed to give for truma to the Kohen. But today we don't do it because he anyway can't eat it. Okay, so now let's look at.
Does he get more than the Kohen?
He does get more. Well, the Kohen, that's what the Kohen gets. The Kohen is supposed to get 2%, right? And the Levi's getting like 10%. Yeah, he gets a lot more. Well, look how many more Leviim are than Kohanim, right? Kohen was just children of Aaron, right? The Leviim were the children of all the other children, right? The other brothers. He had many other cousins that were Leviim. So there's many more Leviim than Kohanim. So they get more. But the Kohen gets also another 24 gifts that go to the Kohen. So he gets a lot of different things, not just the truma. And also like the ani, right? Why only taking care of him the third and the sixth year? He needs a lot. He needs also. No, we give a lot of stuff to the poor people. We have tzedakah. We have meiser. We have meiser of money. We give a lot of stuff to the poor person. But this is like a special thing that they get every third and sixth year. But so let's now and that's really the next part. Number 7. Another 900s at the bottom of the produce, right? Here's the bottom of the leaf. That's over here, right? We already took care of we already took off 10% to use that for the Levi and the Kohen. So now it's enough for us to take 10% of what's left. That's 9%. 9% of the bottom is now going to be either Meiser Sheni or Meiser Ani, right? So if like we know now it's Meiser Sheni, it's the 4th year. So we could just say that. Another 900s at the bottom of the produce, which I desire to rectify, is hereby declared Meiser Sheni. If you don't know, you could just say it's either Meiser Sheni or Meiser Ani. You could say both, right? Sometimes you might have both, like you might have some fruits on the tree some trees have fruits still from last year. Early growers, like they already started to grow before Tu B'Shvat. Have other fruits that start to grow after Tu B'Shvat. Those are from the 4th year. The other ones are from the 3rd year. So you have to say both. Okay, but you could just say both all the time to make it simple. But you have to know, because now really we're almost finished, right? We did all the mitzvot. But what about that Meiser Sheni, right? As I said, we can only eat that when we're able to purify ourselves, and when we have the Beit HaMikdash, then we could go there and eat it. What are we going to do now? We don't want to save it until then. Like even if we're very optimistic, we don't want to save it that we're going to be able to bring it to the Beit HaMikdash. Instead, we're going to do what the Torah says. Like in the Torah talks about the scene where you have so much Meiser Sheni, you can't carry it to Jerusalem. It's too much. You don't have enough donkeys to carry it. So what are we going to do? The Torah says, no problem. Just transfer the value to money. Take that money to Jerusalem and buy whatever you want to eat. You could buy, like maybe you had a big crop of pomegranates. Take all that money, now you could buy whatever you want with it. You could buy meat, you could buy wine, you could buy nasturtium leaves, whatever you feel like eating, you could buy it there. And now you're eating the holiness of that Meiser Sheni that came from the food to the money, from the money back to the food. So now we're eating the holiness in Jerusalem. We're seeing the Kohanim in action. We're seeing the Sanhedrin. We're seeing the Korbanot. It's like a field trip that's going to give us like a experience of kedusha, of holiness. So what are we going to do? We're going to also take the value and transfer it to money. I wouldn't suggest you use your own money because I know you're going to take that money to the store and you're going to buy some vegetables there, and then you're going to be eating Meiser Sheni here, and that's not allowed, right? So we're going to transfer it to a special coin, which is I subscribe to it for the benefit of all the students in Beirut. This is the Mechael Torah Va'aretz from Kfar Darom. Where's Kfar Darom? Anybody know? What? Once upon a time, we had a place called Gush Katif. That right now, some people, they didn't listen to me. I told them it's not going to make peace. Don't give it to those people. They didn't listen to me, and now that place is, just buried in rubble now.
Yeah.
That place. So in any case, now they're relocated to Nitzan, or is it Nitzan and Nitzanim? Anyway, they're still around, and they have the coin there. So that's what So we're going to say also that this is a separate mitzvah to transfer the holiness of the Meiser Sheni to a coin, and they deal with it over there. So that's what we say here. For those who's number 8, when those who's from Meiser Sheni is taken, it must first be redeemed, because we want to eat that. This part at the bottom of the leaf, we want to eat that. Also at the top of the leaf, this is Meiser Rishon. Right, we made the 9/10 at the top. We said that's Meiser Rishon. The 9/10 at the bottom, that's Meiser Sheni. Those parts we want to be able to eat that also. So first we're going to take care of the Meiser Sheni, and if it's for sure that wasn't rectified, like the things we're picking here in Beirut, so we say that bracha that commanded us to redeem Meiser Sheni. And then we do it. So how do we do that? We say number 9, continue. What I have declared to be Meiser Sheni, plus an additional quarter, are hereby redeemed on the coin designated for me in the Beit Otzar of the Mechael Torah Va'aretz. Their principal is redeemed on the value of a pruta in the coin, and the quarter goes on a separate quarter pruta. Okay, this is like complicated, because when you do redeem it, it's not just like a simple thing, but it goes in 2 different parts. I'm not going to discuss that now, but we do. That's what we say. And number 10, in the event that Meiser Rishon was taken with a bracha, which we do, right? We also have to take Meiser. Who's that go to? To the Levi. When we are obligated to give it to the Levi, and we said a bracha, now we're going to give it to the Levi. And in those years when we give it to the 3rd and 6th year, when we give it to the poor person, we're going to give him, instead of Meiser Sheni, it's going to be Meiser Ani. We're going to give that to the poor person. So how do we have our leaf now has if it's in those 3rd and 6th year, we have like 9/10 is for the Levi, 9/10 for the poor person. So how do we redeem that we'll be able to eat it ourselves? So what we do is, I have here like a contract from the Beta Otzar. I give a certain amount of money to that Beta Otzar, and I say, loan this money, part of it, loan it to the Levi. Part of it, loan to the poor person. Whenever I need to redeem my Meiser Rishon, that goes to the Levi, or I need to redeem the Meiser Ani, that goes to the poor person, I'm going to make a deal with them. Instead of giving me back the money I loaned you, keep that money and let me eat the Meiser Rishon. That's the part belongs to the Levi. He's going to let me keep it. The part that belongs to the poor person is going to let me keep it, and they're going to keep the portion of the loan that I gave them. So that's like I already gave them the money ahead of time. The money that the Meiser Rishon that belongs to them, they get the money, and I get to eat the Meiser Rishon. Right? You don't have to be tahor to eat that.
What is the loan?
The loan, I give them money. I send money to them.
Before you do the maser.
At the beginning of the year,
Oh,
I already sent them money to this Machane
So
Torah
you bought
Ba'aretz.
that part of Marcel?
I didn't really buy it because it didn't yet come detached from the land, but I gave them like ready for me to do the mitzvah.
Okay.
When I'm ready to redeem it, I just let them keep the money, and I can keep the Meiser Rishon, and I can keep the Meiser Ani. So that's like makes it simple. Yeah, just 1 second, and that's what we say here, that the Meiser Rishon and the Meiser Ani, which is present in this produce, is hereby given over to the Levi and the person of low income to the poor person, according to the agreement signed with them. Then we just double wrap it and dispose of the little piece, which is the Truma Gedola and Trumat Maaser. Okay, so we're going to now go through it again with the bracha. Unless you have any questions, Sharona, you had a question?
Yes, that I had heard that. I'd kind of heard that from different stores, markets, that they had certain areas set aside for just what you're talking about.
Yes, any store that you go to. I don't know where I saw it in Fragan's store. You should have like a certificate that says that
Just
Trumos and
area.
Meiser that have been taken.
Okay.
It's supposed to, like in Marmi Levi, you see that, you go to Machne Yehuda, you go to the market, they'll say there, don't worry, Trumos and Meiser was taken. What if you go to a store and they didn't say it, and you ask them, doesn't know what that is, so then you have to do it yourself, but without a bracha. Without a bracha, we only take the bracha when we're sure it hasn't yet been taken. Right? The bracha is just something to give extra holiness to it. But if we go through all the steps, even without saying the bracha, it still accomplishes what's necessary, which is to separate off the Trumat and Meiser, and it leaves us that part which we're allowed now to eat. Okay,
Oh,
so
I didn't know you could do that. That's so cool.
yeah. So everybody ready? We're ready now to do the real thing, right? We're going to say the bracha, and then we're going to go through the 10 steps, and we won't say for Meiser Ani, but we're going to also need to say the bracha for Meiser Sheni in order to redeem it, and I'll have in mind to do it also for what's in here. Okay? Because the question is, did I take enough? 100, I have to take a little bit more than 100th of the whole thing. So what do I have? About 1, 2, 3, about 10 leaves here, right? So I will have to take a little bit more, right? A whole, like, if I have 10 leaves, so then I have to take actual 10th of this leaf. Okay, take a little bit more. Okay, so you ready? Okay, so I'm putting this in here, and now let's say it together. So first the bracha, Baruch Atah, together, let's say it together. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Kiddushanu b'mitzvosav v'tzivanu la'afrish trumot u'maiserot. Okay, now take the little part that we set aside again, and say number 4. Regarding the 100th plus a fraction amount of produce which has been set aside, consider the lower part equivalent to 1% of the total amount as remaining for the time being unrectified. Stays the same tevel. The part remaining on top, equivalent to a fraction more of the total, a fraction of the total, is hereby declared Truma Gedola. Okay, we've declared it, say that. This is declared Truma Gedola. The lower part of that which has been set aside, number 5, the lower part which has been set aside, which is equivalent to 100th of the total amount, plus another 900s at the top of the produce which I desire to rectify, are hereby declared Meiser Rishon. Declared Meiser Rishon. Okay, so we declared it Meiser Rishon. Number 6, the lower part of the produce has been set aside. That's the little part I put aside. That lower part, which I first said was going to stay tevel, not going to be rectified. Now it's hereby declared Trumat Maaser. Right? So we declare that to be Trumat Maaser. Okay, now we're up to number 7, and again we're going back to the part of the leaf which is left. Another 900 at the bottom of the produce which I desire to rectify are hereby declared Meiser Sheni. Okay, so declare it Meiser Sheni. Now I'm going to say the bracha to redeem that Meiser Sheni. And say that together. Baruch Ato Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Kiddishanu B'mitzvosav Tzivanu Lifdot Maaser Sheni. Then I continue, number 9. What I have declared to be Maaser Sheni, plus an additional quarter, are hereby redeemed on the coin designated for me in the Beit Otzar of the Mechon Torah Va'aretz. Principal is redeemed on the value of a pruta in this coin, and the quarter goes on a separate quarter pruta. And finally, now we're going to talk about the Meiser Rishon, which we said that was 9/10 at the top of what we said of the produce. Right? That's in the event that Meiser Rishon was taken with a bracha. So I really do owe that to the Levi. The following should be said. We don't have to add the words in the parentheses. The Meiser Rishon, which is present in this produce, is hereby given over to the Levi according to the agreement signed with them. Okay, and now it's rectified. That's it.
Yeah.
So everybody could do it. Succeeded to do it.
Can we do something general for all of those muscles?
It's really not so hard. We have it in the kitchen, right? So you could see the different steps. It takes exactly, you'll see, like if you do it a few times, you just separate all, you have to estimate a little bit more than 100, set it aside, and then you go through the nusach, you say the 10 steps, and that's it. You double cover and put that into the trash, or wait till it rots, put it in the compost, and everything is ready. It takes about 1 minute, that's all.
You just have to find out if it's Maser Sheni or Maser Ani.
Right, well this year,
It's
up
Maser
until Tu B'Shvat, everything is going to be Meiser Sheni, unless you have some early fruits. So if you don't know, right? If you don't know, then you have to you have to see what's growing on the trees. Like if it's something that just now starting to grow, so you know it's in the 4th year, so you have to take Meiser Sheni. Yes, Diana.
And I think you said this, but I forgot, or I still don't understand. If you have say apples and bananas.
Yeah.
Do you have to do Meiser twice?
No, you do it at the same time.
Altogether?
Like we say, number 2 was number 2. Say what I'm about to say applies to each. No, number 1. No, number 2. No, number 3. If you're rectifying more than one kind, what I'm about to say applies to each kind separately. You do it you separate apart from each one, but you only have to say it one time. Yes.
What are the mitzvahs that you're doing? How many are there?
Well, there's really, each year you can only do 4, because we can't do, well, unless you have from both the 4th year, from the 3rd year and the 1st and 2nd, or the 6th year and the 4th and 5th, then you could do 5 mitzvot. Right? It's like you see in the 5 mitzvot have the pictures here on this paper. So some years you can only do Meiser. You can only do every 3rd and 6th year Meiser Ani.
Okay.
The other years you're doing Meiser Sheni, that's for what we eat in Jerusalem. In the Shemitah year we don't do anything, right? We don't do it at all.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
4 or 5 mitzvot.
Right. Okay, so you're good, everybody. Okay, I hope it's a little bit like it is a lot. It is like 4 or 5 big mitzvot, but you'll see as and I bless you that will never get so automatic. The more you do it, the more automatic it becomes. That you'll always be able to do it, b'kavanah, like you're doing it now.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Amen. Okay.